makes more, plumbers versus HVAC? Well, I'm a master plumber, and as you see, I got a special guest in the house, Jon Wren. Jon, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good, doing good.
You've been doing HVAC for years.
Yeah.
And you've worked for some really good companies.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk money and first of all, how people can get started. And we're going to talk about who makes more later. But if you want to get started in plumbing, there's different ways to do it. If you know that you want to be a commercial plumber, maybe you join the union. Maybe you call and find out about the unions in your area. Is there any need for apprentices right now? Can you get in and can you go through the apprentice training program? If there's not, or maybe you want to do residential service, it may be better for you just to go to a local plumbing company. And when people ask me what kind of plumbing company to go to work for, if it's residential service, I say, look who's advertising on TV. Look whose trucks you see around town. Look who you hear more on the radio, or maybe listen to who you hear more on the radio, but things like that. And literally go in and apply. Go in and talk to them. Say, are you looking for anybody? I want to become a plumber, but know what kind of plumber you want to be. How are good ways for people to get started in HVAC?
Same ways. See trucks around. The trades are hurting for individuals.
Bad.
We know that. So I can guarantee you there is companies out there, a whole bunch of them, that are looking for some driven, motivated individuals.
And, you know, those are the companies to go to work for. If it's funny. I was talking to a guy one time who told me about a company in San Francisco and asked him how many plumbers or how many HVAC techs, complete HVAC company, how many techs could you hire right now? He said, if there were 90 people, I could hire them.
Wow.
Can you imagine how much money he's losing a day if he could put 90 more technicians to work right then? So there is a big need for plumbing and HVAC technicians. Now, if you do get a job in plumbing, remember, we're talking about money here. You want to move up. And I think the answer is going to be pretty much the same. But when you get into plumbing, you want to look at how can you become the very best you can be? How can you learn? How can you grow? What things are out there? What training is out there that you can learn to help move you up? HVAC, pretty much the same thing?
Yeah. Yeah, there's training out there. I mean, with us at Rescue Air, we invest in the training is like the biggest thing, and getting them into a process and steps like that is something that we focus on regularly.
I had Randy Carpenter come in,
Yeah.
and he said for the plumbers, they probably spend about $10,000 a year per person
Oh, yeah.
on training.
Somewhere around there.
A lot of companies don't train at all. It is what it is.
It is what it is, yeah.
That's one thing, too, that I love during the interview process about talking to the companies that you're applying at. It gets down to asking them, look, if I come to you, how do I become a better technician? Do you have training? Do you have good mentorship program? Do you have a clear path if I want to move up? Different things like that. So any kind of questions you think people should ask in the interview process to help find out if the company they're going to work for is going to put them where they want to be?
It's also what you're looking for too. What's the culture like? What's the environment like? What is that? How long are the steps in that path? How long do I need to be at this position? A lot of times it's the needs of the company, but the needs of the company is we need to get somebody in a van right now. So let's go move them. So
And we need it.
yeah,
It does happen that way. But the good thing is, at Rescue Air, we don't just hire people and throw them in a van.
No.
I've seen that happen many, many times.
Yeah.
I've had to do that with plumbers before.
Yeah.
Like, man, look, I know you just started, but we got a problem.
Yeah.
Let me send you out and we'll get you your training later.
Yeah.
Later normally doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't happen, and it just sets that individual up for failure.
Yes, it does. And the company. Okay, so you and I talked a while ago. I brought Jon in for the podcast, so it's great. Make sure you jump over to the other channel, the Trade Talks. Listen to the podcast about HVAC and his career path. What's the career path look like for people in HVAC?
So, starting off as a parts runner, really just learning the parts that go with the job and understanding, how that system operates and what part goes where. And then eventually, I mean, you catch the eye of that department manager, and it's like, hey, let's move him over and start getting him trained up and getting him prepared to to either go into being a technician or coming over to install department or whatever it may look like, where that better fit would be personality wise.
Yeah. And you either catch the attention of your supervisor or somebody else.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, man, I want to steal that guy from you.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, I'm not ready for him to go yet.
Yeah.
It does happen, though. Get in and prove yourself. Do really well. And the opportunities are there for you. They always are. Okay, plumbing is a little bit different. Plumbing is more of you've got a direct process. You come in, you start as an apprentice. You're going to end up on a shovel, a broom, tools cutting rebar or something like that to put stakes in the ground. Then you slowly move up. You learn, and it's the more you learn, you're directly in plumbing from the very beginning. But even that, you could start out at a big plumbing company as a parts runner.
Yeah.
Knowing the materials, one of the best people I ever hired came in and says, look, I've worked at the big box store. I know all the plumbing parts.
Yeah.
I just don't know how they go together, how they work or things like that. So it was really great because he'd be out on a project. He'd say, wait, there's a part that we can use here that would do this. It'd be like, cool, man, you're out there, make a decision. So it was really, really good. But in plumbing, you start out as an apprentice. You move up to, if you're in residential, you can get your tradesman. But while you're an apprentice, you can also get your registered drain cleaner. You can become registered as a utility installer. So there's ways that you can get out and bring revenue into a residential service company without having the full hours to be a journeyman or something like that. Also, if you're residential, you can get your tradesman license, which lets you work on one family and two family dwellings. So a house, a duplex, something like that. Not apartment, not multifamily. And if you go on a bigger job than that, you're now an apprentice again, or that's how you're viewed. Then there's the journeyman, then there's the master. Then you can move up, get your RMP if you're ever going to open a company. So HVAC, which I'm a certified HVAC technician, but literally it's just, man, I worked a lot of years in the field, plumbing and HVAC, and was able to go in, take a quick training, take the test, pass it.
Yeah. It's really your EPA license that allows you to, work with refrigerant and that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And then it's a lot of on the job training and grinding. There's
a lot of that to it.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about pay now. Pay increases. When somebody starts out in plumbing, I normally tell them in Texas, you can probably start out around $15-20 an hour.
Uh-huh.
HVAC is pretty close to that.
Yeah. Similar.
Very similar, something pretty close to the same. But how do you look at pay increases in HVAC?
So if you're on the service side, it's really maximizing the opportunities that are given to you based on the calls that are given to you. So you're going out, you're providing customers the best option that's going to fix the issues at their house, and really selling those options. And then a lot of companies out here are commission based. Mm-hmm. So based on your sales at the end of the week is where you're going to land.
And commission based, they're even putting apprentices in that commission based area. That way they get a percentage of a percentage.
Correct.
And it makes them want to come out and work harder, help get the job done faster.
Yes.
It introduces them to it and shows them what their future looks like.
Right.
Because they normally know the percentages the plumbers are getting too.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, there are also hourly positions. You start out as a parts runner, something like that. That's an hourly deal. There's not commissions there. But you can start out, and some companies are still just hourly. You work for us, you make, $15 an hour. You're going to make that forever until you've proven yourself till you can move up and take on other responsibilities and do other things. Now, if you do join the union, say you want to be commercial, the union's a little bit different in plumbing and HVAC because you progress each year. You normally start out at 45 or 50% of journeyman scale, and scale is just I'm going to call it the minimum wage for journeyman. That's what a journeyman has to make. That's what most journeymen make. But each year you go up 2 or 3 times a year. Normally you get 2 raises. So you'll go from 50 to 55 to 60. Then you also normally get a cost of living raise. So, if you're in the union, there can be 3 raises a year. I highly recommend, if you're in the union, start putting up $1 every year. So pick one of those raises and say, hey, when I get a raise here, I'm going to put another $1 into my 401k. That can actually help you retire a millionaire. And I've done videos on that. But John, we've talked about pay. We've talked about starting pay and pay increases and how you make more money. How much money can a good installer make? How much money can a good service technician make? And I don't just mean good. What's the best of the best?
Wow.
And you've been around the country,
yeah.
so you've seen some really good ones.
Yeah. So, best install, they're hitting about 150.
Okay.
You know, best service, they could get up to between 150 to 200. I mean, like I said, maximizing those opportunities that you're given, and you just make it happen. So, the pay raise is really up to you.
Yeah, you can make whatever you want to make.
Yeah.
Okay, now sales, because there's some people that are just dedicated salesmen. They understand, hey, these people have a unit that's 15 years old.
Yeah.
Probably not a good idea to send a service tech out and just let him fix what needs to be replaced. So they'll send a sales tech out. And like I said, you've worked across the country.
Yeah.
What's the best salesperson make?
Best salesperson's making, man, anywhere from 300 to 500 grand a year.
Did y'all hear that?
300 to 500 grand a year.
$500,000
Yeah.
a year coming out talking about HVAC, something
Yeah.
you know about each and every day. The best plumbers I know make anywhere from 200 to 350,000 a year. It can be done.
Yeah.
Normally a good year for a plumber, if you work for a commission-based company, is going to be around 150, somewhere around in there. But I'm telling you guys, I've seen them do 250 to 350,000 a year.
Yeah.
As a plumber. They don't work just 8 hours a day though.
Oh, not at all. No, they're going.
They're grinding.
They're going nonstop. And the other thing that people got to understand too, Roger, is that you got to invest the time. It takes time to get to those points. These guys just didn't come in year one and turn that.
No,
you
we're
know?
talking the very best.
Yeah, we're talking the very best that have 15 to 20 years underneath their belt that, you know, they're there now. You know, they didn't start there. They invested the time to get there. So,
And I love the way you said that, because we talked about this in the interview. When you first got in the trades, did you have any idea there would be people in the trades making $300,000 to $500,000?
not at all.
Yeah,
Not at all.
Me either.
No.
And now I see them all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy. If you're looking for a job in the trades, Jon's at Rescue Air. Reach out to Rescue Air and let them know, hey, I saw Jon. Love to get in and talk to y'all about a possible job. Plumbers, HVAC techs, installers.
Yeah.
Just about anything. in the
Always looking
trades.
for talent.
Absolutely. Jon, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Guys, if you love this video, you're definitely going to like this one.